Hey, hey, hey. Yep. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. One, two, two. Two. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. One, two. One, two. Check. All right. Hey, hey, hey. One, two, one, two. Hey, hey. One, two, one, two. Hey, hey. One, two, one, two.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, who would like to ask the first question, please? Okay, here, please. And second. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good to go down the back, TV? Thank you. Okay, first question, please.
Mohammed, when I spoke to Akib Javed before the start, during your practice match, he said that, Perth would be the most difficult match for you guys because of the bounce and the fact that you're not used to it. I mean, with that in mind, would you say that was a correct assumption of Akib, and was that the reason why the batting just did not click?
No, I think yes, it is a difficult wicket in the world. I think it got a lot of bounce and carry, but I think they outplayed us with their bowling. They bowled some excellent areas, and we couldn't cope up with that.
But what are the lessons you would have learned from this, playing such a big nation, and the experience? What do you feel about it?
As I said, we need to do the basics right. I think the basics is to play all 50 overs. I think we got out in 30 odd overs, which was not good. I think batters need to be more responsible and learn from their mistakes and play all 50 overs in the next game. And we have proved it also in the previous two games. I think we need to that.
Mohammed, this sort of performance gives more ammunition to the people who are saying the associates really shouldn't be in the World Cup. So what are you going to say to that? Because this is exactly the kind of performance that people have been saying, okay, we need to cut down the teams. So what would you...
Look, we had two good games and probably one off day, which we would like to, forget about it and erase this game as soon as possible and in the following the next three games.
You played a fairly tough match against India, tough for you. You probably need to play more tough games like these against bigger teams. How do you see that happening?
Yes, definitely. I think the more we play against these bigger nations, the more we learn and the more we perform. And I think that fear or that thinking of a bigger team would not be there, So I think the more we play, the better for associated nations.
Sorry, I wanted to know, do you see that happening? Do you have any hope that you might actually be playing more games against bigger nations?
Well, that's not for me to reply. I think that's for the authorities to arrange or organize these more games with us,
How difficult was it facing Ashwin for your batsmen?
I think you saw the result yourself. I think it's. I don't need to say that, but he took 4 wickets. He bowled extremely well. But I think more than his turn, I think it was the bounce that was creating a problem for us. He was getting some very good bounce. And definitely, yes, of course, he bowled well. He took 4 wickets, and he won them the game.
You praised the Indian bowlers. What was the difference between their bowling and what you've experienced against Ireland and Zimbabwe in the last 2 games?
No, of course, Indian team is more professional. They have a better spin attack than the rest of than the Irish or Zimbabweans. So I think we got outplayed by the spin attack more than the fast bowlers, and I think the wicket also helped them, in getting us all out.
Captain, India is a big team, no doubt. But have you anything you learned from the India how to play in a big matches? Have you learned anything from this match?
Yes, of course.
How to play in big matches?
Yes, of course. It's the whole tournament is a learning experience for us. So we don't play World Cup or these nations, as regular as we should be. But as I said, the whole tournament is a learning experience, and we are. this particular match also, we need to show improvement in the next game, so we cannot show improvement in this game, so yes, of course, we would like to, in our next game, we would like to make lesser mistakes, and learn from this game.
Last question.
Tokir, very few highlights in the match for you guys, but one definitely was Rohan Mustafa's catch. I mean, he's one of your best fielders. Can you just tell us something about what you guys felt about the catch and about him as a fielder?
It's a brilliant catch, one-handed effort. It was extremely good catch. We as a team, we are working very hard on our batting, bowling, and fielding also. So, brilliant effort from him, and we wanted to take a few more wickets also. It didn't come our way, but excellent effort and good catch from Rohan. Thank you. Thank you.
Stoney, the good news is, which one? The good news and the bad news? Bad news, bad news is, no, MS Stoney will be here, but it'll be close to 8. They started at 1, then they're playing football out in the pitch, so we'll still be finished early. Anyway, look, all joking aside, if you can be ready here from about 10 to 8, just in case we finish up a little early, Dr. Baba reckons there'll be more, about 25 minutes anyway. So don't go too far. Don't go too far. Or we can do a press conference with Dr. Baba, whatever. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've India captain MS Dhoni. The opening questions will be in English, and then we'll have 4 or 5 questions in Hindi. Okay, TV cameras ready. If you could silence your phones, please. Who'd like to ask the first question? Just here, please.
Maya, how do you feel playing a team like UAE and team require to be very competitive?
I think when it comes to international cricket or any sport, you have to respect the opposition irrespective of which team you are playing. So that's what was told to the team as a unit, that, let's not see who we are playing. Let's play the game of cricket. When the batsmen are batting, watch the ball and treat it the way it needs to be treated. Because at the end of the day, every wicket that you take over here will be counted as a World Cup wicket. Your score will be counted as a World Cup run. So, that was good enough motivation, to come over here and repeat the kind of performances or the way we executed in the past few games. So I think I was happy with the way, the individuals turned up and the way we played cricket today.
Regardless of who you played tonight, good for Rohit to get some runs?
Well, he was getting runs before he got injured. He has got, last couple of games he didn't get runs, but it's not like he's out of form. So it's good for every individual to get a bit of run. And also it was a good wicket, nothing similar to what we played during the Tri-Series. So overall it was good for everyone. Shikhar is getting runs, Rohit is amongst runs, then Virat. So overall it's looking good for us.
Mahinder, is it a bit of irony that on the bounciest of pitches, a spinner takes the maximum wickets, or are you not surprised?
No, I think Ash bowled really well. What's according to the wicket, you have to change your bowling to some extent. You have to find the right length and the right trajectory to bowl. And I felt Ash did that really well. He did use his faster one also, and he was quite successful to get a bit of swing on it. And that was the reason he got a couple of wickets out of those particular deliveries. But I felt his line and length was superb and the pace at which he bowled. And also Jadeja got a bit of turn later on. I introduced him quite late. I wanted to go on with a few more overs of the fast bowler. But he bowled well, whatever opportunity he got, he bowled well.
Bit away from the current game, in general, talking about the World Cup, we've seen a lot of great, impactful performances from the likes of A.B. de Villiers and Brendan McCullum and all. You've been one of the impact players yourselves. What does a captain do when a person like a Gale or a A.B. de Villiers is on a roll in the middle? How is it difficult or how challenging it is to kind of then deal with that kind of innings on the ground?
Well, frankly speaking, you can't do much, because if the individual is hitting sixes, you can't have fields for it. And more often than not, over here, you'll use the short pitch deliveries if they hit off the short pitch also. There's not much you can do. You look to bluff the batsman a bit. And I believe that gives the liberty to the bowlers, to try a few other things, if a batsman like Chris Gayle or A.B. de Villiers gets going. So apart from that, you don't have a fixed plan as to if you do this, this will happen. And that's where I feel the bowler will have to take that extra initiative, and they have to be backed well by the fielders, because if you have a 50-50 opportunity and if you grab that, it will really ease off the pressure from the fast bowlers or the spinners. So I think as a unit, you'll have to hunt in pack.
MS, Bhuvi bowled today. Talk us through it.
Sorry?
Bhuvi bowled today. What was it like for you?
No, he bowled well. It was good to give him a game. Shami was not 100%, so looking at the tournament ahead, we felt it was better off if you can give Shami a bit of rest. And I thought Bhuvi started off well. He was slightly up in pace. That's what it felt like from behind. So it's good to see the whole fast bowling unit, available for selection. We'll see, who suits the best on those particular wickets that's provided. So, it's good to see him, getting a bit of action.
Plans in place to perhaps reduce the amount of teams at the next World Cup to 10 and cut away some of the associate nations. What are your thoughts in that regard? Do you think it should be cut back to 10 nations, or
there's plenty of stuff on my table. Let the ICC decide. They should also do a bit of work. So, let them sit in the air-conditioned room and decide whether the associate nation needs to play in the World Cup or not, because that's what they come up with. So, the bunch of people will sit in a hall and they'll decide, whether or not it's good for cricket.
MS, since the performance has been great, do you see yourself, since you have not got so much of batting time in the middle, do you see yourself promoting yourself up the order to
No,
get
not
some
really.
batting time?
No, we'll stick to the format.
Mahi, great performance by India, but the other team, which was crushed, an associate member country trying to come up. What would be your advice to countries like that? Even when they lose by such heavy margins as they did today, what would be your advice to?
I think if you see, it's a good exposure for them. And, they are competing with the test nations because they have done really well in the associate tournaments, where the associate teams are there and they perform against each other. So, it's a graph. If you see Afghanistan or some of the other teams, you can see a bit of in their game, every time when they come and play. So, you have to see that, overall that cricket is developing, as a sport, because what's very important is, you want cricket to be a global sport when it comes to participation. And, what's more important is, rather than looking at it from a commercial point of view, what we have to make sure is, where there's existence of the sport, you have to make sure that it's, it keeps on increasing there. And at the same time, you look at some of the other countries, where there's prospect of playing cricket. So I feel overall it's a win-win situation. But what's most important is to make sure that if there's a bit of fire anywhere, you have to make sure it becomes a bushfire, as in terms of. So I think it's good. Whatever we have seen of a lot of associate nations, there has been a lot of improvement in their cricket. But we'll have to, give them more opportunities, and we'll have to make sure that the infrastructure in those countries, they get better and better, so that, more people can come and play cricket.
MS, for about 3 months here in Australia, you couldn't almost buy a win, so to speak.
No, you don't buy a win.
but how have you achieved this transformation? What buttons did you guys press to get this turnaround?
Well, I don't know whether to answer the buy aspect first, or because you have given yourself a nice thing to write, especially the Indian media with the buy question. But as I said, ICC tournaments, when it comes to ICC tournaments, you have to raise your game as individuals and as team. And, there's no real secret magic to it. Yes, we had a tough season so far, since we have been in Australia. We were hampered by injuries to a lot of extent. A lot of batsmen, they were not getting enough runs. And also it's difficult, to switch straight from Test cricket to ODI cricket. At times it becomes slightly difficult. Not for individuals who play the similar sorts, where they play their normal shots and all of that. But overall, yes, we did find it difficult. But what has improved is the consistency in bowling and the way we are picking our shots. That's the crucial aspect, irrespective of which format you're playing. You pick your shots, you pick which bowler to target, which areas to hit. And, the more good decisions you take, the better is the reflection in the scorecard, both in bowling and batting.
Could you please tell us what kind of work you have done with your bowlers, especially after the Tri-Nation series? Because there was some kind of concern over our bowling. So going into the World Cup, what kind of things you have discussed and what kind of work you have done with the bowlers?
I think they have spent fair amount of time over here. If you see the bowling department as a unit, they have, most of them, they have been part of the test team and also the tri-series. So when you go expensive in the test matches and also in the ODI series, there's definitely something that's lacking. So I feel it was an ideal reflection from the bowler side also that, they have to make sure they're bowling the right length, because even though the outfields are very big, still you can get hit for boundaries because of the pace of the wicket. So I felt the bowlers also, responded really well, when they were told as to these are the areas where we have to improve as a team, as a unit. And also what really happened so far in the World Cup games is, they have bowled as a unit. All the three fast bowlers back to back, they have bowled the right length. And I feel it is very crucial. The reason being, you have to exploit the field, with the fifth fielder inside, it becomes a bit difficult to contain the batsmen, especially if they have wickets in hand. So, as a team, we felt we have to find the right length, and according to how the wicket is behaving, you have to change the length in each and every game. And the response from the guys have been brilliant, and there have been more communication, amongst the bowler themselves.
Last question in English, please, just here.
Did you enjoy the game of football? And teams like UAE say that they need to play stronger teams more often to improve. Do you see that happening at all?
Well, not against India. I don't see any, even a few days off to play any more cricket than what we play. The whole of, if you see the cricket fraternity, nations, they have a calendar of 12 months in which they play a lot of test matches and ODIs on an average. I don't know what's the number. Our calendar is 9.5 months because 2.5 months we play IPL and Champions League, and still we match, every other test playing nation when it comes to the number of test matches and ODI cricket also. So I don't see India playing. We can't unless we play 2 games in 1 day, which is just not possible, because you want to keep the quality up. A lot of our players get criticized, and a lot is said about our bowlers are not fit enough, or our cricketers, they get injured. But if you see, it's the same set of players that play all the format, Test cricket, ODI cricket, T20, then they go back and play Champions League and IPL. So, looking at the workload, I won't be surprised to say, it's our bowlers who are amongst the fittest because of the amount of cricket they play, and yet, coming up for every game and performing, it is difficult. Not to forget, when they get a break, they get a call from their local states, to play for their team, and there's no number of overs that they have to bowl. The India bowler comes, you give the ball and you forget one side. So, it's a difficult one. Yes, the associate nations, if they can get a few more games in a better scenario, good facilities, it will be good for them, because at the end of the day, it's like a circus where you want to play in front of people, you want to compete in the best scenario. So, we'll have to formulate a way, but please, not India. India can't play any more games.
Okay, Hindi, 4 questions, please. First one here.
माही इसी सवाल को आगे लेके जाते हुए, इतना आप खेलते हो, मैचेस खेलते हो, प्रैक्टिस करते हो, परसों हमने देखा कि आपने बैटिंग बॉलिंग नहीं की, सिर्फ फील्डिंग की, ज़बरदस्त फील्डिंग सेशन हुआ, दूसरे दिन आपने ऑफ लिया, तो ये रूटीन तोड़ना कितना ज़रूरी होता है और इसका क्या फ़ायदा होता है?
काफ़ी बोला गया है कि जब आप कॉन्स्टेंटली क्रिकेट खेल रहे होते हो तो नेट सेशन से ज़्यादा जो रेस्ट होता है वो ज़्यादा फ़ायदेमंद होता है, स्पेशली अगर आप एक लंबे सीरीज़ का पार्ट हो। तो डेफिनेटली ये जो अभी हमारी सीरीज़ चल रही है, अगर आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया सीरीज़ को एक्सटेंड करें तो ऑन द होल 4.5-5 महीने का टूर है हमारे लिए। तो कंडीशन, जहाँ तक बात की जाए तो हमें कंडीशन के बारे में सब कुछ पता है। हमने ऑलमोस्ट सारे वेन्यूज़ पे अपने मैचेस खेले हैं, तो हमें पता है विकेट्स कैसे बिहेव करती है, और अगर विकेट डिफरेंट गया है तो वो किस तरीके से बिहेव करेगी। सो आई थिंक मेंटली फ्रेश रहना ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज़ हम वर्कलोड थोड़ा डिवाइड कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि काफ़ी लंबे ब्रेक्स भी हैं बीच में, तो हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ऑल्टरनेट डे प्रैक्टिस करें, और रादर अगर हम 6 दिन का मीडियोकर लेवल का प्रैक्टिस करें, उससे बेटर है कि हम 3 दिन का हाई इंटेंसिटी प्रैक्टिस करें, क्योंकि उससे हमें ज़्यादा रिजल्ट मिलेगा। तो वी आर मिक्सिंग इट, और जो हमारा ऑफ डे भी होता है, फील्ड के हिसाब से ऑफ डे होता है, बट वापस होटल में सारे जिम करते हैं, पूल सेशन करते हैं, दूसरे स्पोर्ट्स में इंडल्ज करते हैं। यहाँ पे टेनिस कोर्ट है तो टेनिस खेल ले रहे हैं थोड़ा। ऑल दीज थिंग्स टू कीप आवरसेल्फ फ्रेश।
माही, आप टूर्नामेंट में अपने आप को पेश कैसे करोगे, क्योंकि आपका चैलेंज होगा कि मोमेंटम आप लूज़ ना करो जब तक क्वार्टर फाइनल्स आएँ, और अपना मतलब बर्नआउट भी ना हो जाओ तब तक। तो कैसे आपका ये मतलब क्या प्लान है कि आप जो पिछले वर्ल्ड कप में आपने अपना इंटेंसिटी बढ़ाया था क्वार्टर फाइनल तक, तो वही उसी तरह से इस बार जाने का प्लान है?
कोशिश वही रहेगी। सब कुछ प्लान के हिसाब से नहीं होता है, तो जब चैलेंजेस अलग हो जाते हैं तो आपको उसके लिए रेडी रहना पड़ता है। और इसीलिए जो सारे प्लान्स हैं ना, जिस तरीके से हम प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से हम जो प्लेयर्स का फिटनेस होता है उसका मेंटेनेंस कर रहे हैं, अभी तक तो सब कुछ हमारे हिसाब से अच्छा चल रहा है। बट आपने सही कहा है कि जैसे जैसे आप नॉकआउट स्टेज में जाएंगे, आपको अपना परफॉर्मेंस थोड़ा थोड़ा बेहतर करते रहना पड़ेगा, स्पेशली आपको मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा अपना परफॉर्मेंस, सो दैट कोई डिप ना हो परफॉर्मेंस में, और आपका जो मेन प्लेयर हो, ऑल ऑफ देम अगर वो सिलेक्शन के लिए अवेलेबल रहेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा, स्पेशली नॉकआउट स्टेजेस में। तो जो सारी चीज़ों पे अभी तक बात हुई है, वो सारी चीज़ों को हमें मेंटेन करते रहना पड़ेगा। काफ़ी लोगों का डिफरेंट ओपिनियन रहेगा, बेटर ऑफ रहेगा टीम के लिए अगर हम दूसरे के ओपिनियन ना लें। अंदर से जो हमें सही लगे हम वो करते रहें, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे हम टीम के अंदर से हमें पता है कि हमें अभी किस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है और कौन सा बेस्ट अवेलेबल सॉल्यूशन है जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स हम फेस कर रहे हैं उसके लिए.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Amos.